today the worksheet called Step Up 1. The purpose of these worksheets is to prepare you for 6th grade. So these are going to be new concepts. So that's the reason I'm making this video, is to make sure that you understand the concepts. Today is going to be the concept of ratios. So let me go ahead and share this with you. I believe it is this window. Perfect. Okay. So this is what your worksheet looks like. Step Up 1, reteaching. So if you read the top, you can kind of figure it out. But the main thing I wanted to talk about was the 3 different ways you can write ratio. So a ratio is a pair of numbers that compares to quantities. So they give this example over here. Count to find the ratio of squares to circles. So there are 4 squares and there are 3 circles. And they throw in a triangle there just to kind of throw you off, okay? But one way to write a ratio is 4 to 3. You literally write 4 to 3, okay? So the ratio of 4 to 3, and that's how you say it, okay? 4 to 3 can also be written as 4 to 3 or 4 to 3. You always say 4 to 3, even if you have this little colon, or if you have it written as kind of a fraction. So 4 to 3, 4 to 3, or 4 to 3. Okay, and also notice when we say squares to circles, you need to have the correct number. So if I said 3 to 4, that would be incorrect because there are 4 squares, not 3 squares. So if I look at number 1, I'm going to kind of give you a couple of them, the answers to a couple of the problems there. So this is also an incentive to watch this video. The number of triangles to the total number of shapes is 1 to 8, okay? And if we look up here, 1 to 8 total shapes, okay? So a common misconception might be like, oh, it's 1 to 7 because there's 1 triangle and then there's the rest. But it says triangles to the total number of shapes. So that includes the triangle. And it says write the ratio for each comparison in 3 ways. So the next 2 ways, I'm going to stop sharing for a second. The next 2 ways, so the first one would be, again, so the answer was 1 to 8. Again, that's how I say a ratio is 1 to 8. So the first way to say that, to write it, would be 1 to 8. The next one would be 1 to 8 except for a colon, okay? And then the last way would be 1 to 8 in a fraction form, okay? That would be the answer to number 1. Really simple stuff today. I'm going to share my screen again on that same worksheet. The next one, let's actually skip down. Let's skip down to number 6. I feel like you could do number 1 through 5, again, using the model up here. But number 6 says, there are 12 boys and 18 girls in Mr. Kane's class. What is the ratio of the number of girls to the total number of students in the class? Write the ratio 3 ways. So let me go again, stop sharing that window for a second. So reading through that, and again, you'll probably want to have your worksheet in front of you to follow along. I'm on number 6. So there are 12 boys and 18 girls in Mr. Kane's class. What is the ratio of number of girls? So I'm going to write that down so I make sure I have the number correct. Again, if I mix up the numbers, that's incorrect. So I have the number of girls to the total number of students. So total students. I would write it something like that, girls and total students, just so I know exactly what I'm looking for. So there are girls, there are 18, so that's going to be my first number, to total number of students. So I have 12 boys and 18 girls. To find the total, I'm going to add those together. So 12 plus 18, 8 plus 2 is 10, carry the 1, 3. So that would be 30 total students. So I would write the first way, let me erase this a little bit so you can see a little bit better. The first way to write it would be 18 to 30. The next way would be 18 to 30. And then the last way would be 18 to 30, okay? Again, you say 2, 30, 2, 2, and 2. All of them, you say it the same way, okay? So that's ratios. You have, ratios are a really big thing in 6th grade. So this first assignment shouldn't be too bad. Again, it's just writing ratios in 3 different ways. But please let your teachers know if you do still have questions on that, but it shouldn't be too hard. Again, this was step up 1. We went over your teaching side, but practice side should be the same thing. All right, have a nice day.